Kryptonite Coil Pot for Isaac. He loved the first one so much he wanted another one with the video. So I'm going to turn this rod into a green tube and make it into a tiny spoon. So a coil pot, if you've ever done ceramics, you kind of make like little snakes and stack up the snakes on each other to create a vessel, if that makes sense. Everybody's made clay snakes. You just roll up the long strand. So you just do that and you start building it up. I'll show you in a second. I'm about halfway down the rod, I'll show you what's going on. I do have one other coil pot already up. It was a green stardust for Isaac. Alright, so I'm going to taper that down. So you can see the coil pot of green. And I'm going to keep building that up. Not too big. He wants it. I always make them too big for him. He wants them smaller. He wants like a pocket size. Pocket size, Julie. Pocket size. So I'm just going to do 1.5 rods. Normally I would do 2 full ones. But he wants it like the size of a lighter. Sorry I make my stuff so big, Isaac. I'm trying. Go smaller. Go smaller. If you want a custom pipe made on my YouTube, just send me a message. We'll work it out. I think my waiting list right now is only like 2 weeks, maybe 3. I want to use all of this green. So that one's gone. I'm going to heat this up and then I'll show you again what we got. So that's actually a transparent green. It looks orange. And then I'm going to use the rest of this to finish it up. I want it to taper down into a closed top. So then I can shape it into a pipe. Kind of looks like an ice cream cone when I'm done. I'll show you. So I want to make sure I'm not burning the color either. If it's in the flame for too long and it's too hot, it'll bubble really bad and it'll create a hazy texture. It's nasty. Don't burn your color. So I'm tapering down, eventually going to close the coil. I didn't quite resolve that, but it's close. I'm going to give this a little heat and then I'll show you the little ice cream cone we got going on. And then the goal later is to have no texture left on the pipe. What I mean by no texture is all those coils, like right now it's, you know what I mean, too much texture. I want it all smooth at the end of this piece. It looks orange, but it's transparent green. Alright, let's melt her in. And her. Alright. So I'm just going to get it really hot. Let it kind of melt in on itself. And then I'll pump it back out. Once I have a nice round end, I'm going to attach this clear rod to the other end right here. And I'll be able to shape it into the pipe I want. It's just going to be a little spoon. Little Jerry. Gotta do little. I keep making them too big. Sorry, I don't have any music playing. Alright. So now I've got really fucking hot. See, if I stop turning, it's just bleh. Then I give it a puff, tilt it up. You can tilt it depending on which direction you want the glass to flow. So the top is real thick right now. So I kind of want the glass to flow back down. And now it's round. Much more round than it was before. I'm going to attach this. Give it a little stretch first. Alright, that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. Exactly what I want. That's what I want. Alright, so when shaping a pipe, the very first thing I do is the opposite end of that super hot. So up here, I'm going to taper down the mouthpiece. And I want to melt out all those coil lines too from the coil pot. Once I see that all the lines of the coil pot are melted in, give it a little stretch, and I'm going to pump that out. Now everything is smooth. No more texture. Now we'll put the mouthpiece line in. Make sure you got that clear glass stick because the clear wants to melt before the color. That's the mouthpiece. I'm going to section off, I'm going to melt down the very center of the spoon, like the shaft part, the long part. Not too long though, this is supposed to be tiny. Make it tiny. I'm trying to make it tiny. round out the mouthpiece, give it more of a distinct mouthpiece on it. So we got the mouthpieces done. I'm going to shape up the bowl part. I want to make sure I got all the shit off the end that I don't want. I'm just going to melt this all in, make it really round, puff it out, and then we'll be able to do the bowl push, the choke, flat the bottom. So I'm kind of leaving it whatever way I want the liquid glass to flow. It is in liquid right now. Up and out. It's the tiniest pipe I've made in a while. This has got to be small enough, Isaac. Ooh, he's a baby little thing. I wanted it like lighter length. Oh yeah. Smashed it. So I'm gonna wait for that to cool down. Really good study of heat right here. You can see how wicked hot it is up top, how it's like red, it's a little cooler. Oh, it's already cooled down. And then the green, that's kind of the true green it's gonna be, maybe a little lighter. So to push the bowl, I'm gonna pop a hole first, and then we have these graphite tools. So after I pop the hole, I'll circle around with the flame, set it on my pad, and just push it on in. In the winter, I want to make sure this has got some heat in it. If it's too cold, it'll crack the piece. And I spin it around looking at, honestly, what's the most center? This is pretty all fucking centered. We'll just go there. I'm going to like a heat spot where I want it. And then go side to side. We got a hole. I'm going to circle around that and we'll touch the bowl. I'm going to switch hands as I do it so that heat stays even. Right before I go to push the bowl, I'm going to give it a puff, and that solidifies the size that I want that hole to be. So I'm going to blast out the devitrification line. If the hole's too small, I can read it. It is a little too small. So I have a tungsten pick. I get this hot and the bowl hole hot. And I can just ream it up. It's just like a millimeter bigger I want it. I'm so fucking picky. If it's too small though, they get clogged up too fast. And then I'll poke it with the graphite rod again. And then I'm going to re-push it with this. Not that it needs it, but OCD. And boom. We have a perfect bowl. is cool. Now I'm going to flatten the bottom. Rock it back and forth. Hit the bottom, not too hot. I don't want to smash it too much. And when I go to smash that, I want to make sure. Sorry, concentrating now. There's diversification lines after you do that. All right. So when I go to smash it, I want to make sure that this is resting, the mouthpiece, not like any of the handle, because I want, that's what it's going to be later. So I want that to be even with the mouthpiece, if you know what I mean. Not me. Alright, choke. Once the choke's on here, it's almost done. I just have to take it off at the end. Take it off the handle. So for the choke, I kind of circle around where I want it to be. You want to hang it down for like 3, 2, 1. Plug this. Puff up a little mountain. I don't know why I'm teaching so much on this one. I guess I'm bored. Learn you something. And then right to the flame. And I like these to be big enough. I'll get a Q-tip then, like every other fucking hole. Well, besides the bowl hole. The mouthpiece and the choke, I make big enough that you can get a Q-tip in there usually. So I'm just flattening it, making it round, flattening it, making it round. When you go to puff it in the flame, make sure it's really in the flame. Otherwise it gets like these thin flecks around the sides and it makes it rough. I don't know if that makes sense unless you blow glass. But, here we go. Here we go! And Mario. Alright. This is as big as the lighter, long as the lighter. Oh, it's pretty fucking close, I'd say. So this is for Isaac Kryptonite Coil Pot. I'll be back. We'll take it off the handle. See you in a minute. Well, 2 seconds for you. Not even. Bye. Alright, so it's been in my annealer for like a handful of minutes. It's at 1100 degrees in there. Just gonna wipe off the kiln dust. Here's what we got so far. I'm gonna give it a little flash in the flame. I gotta clean this knob apparently. And I'm gonna flash this in the flame as well. So bring some heat to it, make it a little orange. Flash the claw. So this claw tool is how I open up the mouthpiece. Like that. And then you twist this side little knobber, and then it's got a hold of it. And that way you're able to remove the other handle. So right now we got a closed up spoon. Just start basically making it thinner and thinner until it opens up. There, it opened up for me. And I want to make it round. If there's one side that's way too big, you can kind of pick around with that little handle and even it out, but it looks really good. I'm going to make it flat. Flat. And round. I'm going to do that one more time because OCD calls for flat. And then I turn it around 180 and flatten it again. And then just a poke with the graphite rod. And then I have a Kevlar glove that's doubled up over there. I think it's small enough this time. I hope it's small enough this time. And I'm just going to give it a flash because it's kind of cold in here. And then I'll untwist that knob. I'm able to grab the pipe and put it in 1100 degrees, which is fucking warm. So yeah, Isaac Coil Pot Kryptonite. Hope you enjoy it. Thank you all for watching. See you later.
not very fast, but hey,